This was my very worst cruise nightmare, and unfortunately, it came true. In this video, I'm gonna be showing you how you can avoid this yourself and what to do in case it happens to you. Running into a storm on a cruise ship. What many people may find as amusing, maybe even fun, others find as a complete nightmare and something that they'd never want to experience again. And ladies and gentlemen, I went through a storm on a cruise ship, and to say the least, I was very sick on that cruise from the rough weather. And in this video, I'm gonna be telling you all about my experience on board that cruise ship and how you guys, if you ever get into that situation, how you can ride it out in comfort or just how you can avoid it completely. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you go ahead, drop a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and of course, turn on that post notification bell so you can get notified each and every single time I post a brand new video. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. All right, so moving back to November of 2022, I set sail on a 4-day cruise on board the Carnival Breeze out of Galveston, Texas, going out to Cozumel, Mexico, and coming straight back. Now, that cruise was absolutely amazing. I have no complaints about it all the way up until we got till the last day of the cruise. Now, backtracking just a little bit, to day number 3, I decided to go watch this game show that Carnival hosts called The Showdown. And this is with the Fun Squad on board. It's a great old time. Make sure you go check it out your next Carnival cruise. But I decided to go watch that show. And this show has a bunch of different trivia questions in it, a whole bunch of different games, relays, that type of thing. But we were doing trivia at this current time. And right before we got told what this next trivia question was gonna be, one of the hosts said this.
This says nothing about the weather we're about to have for the next 2 days.
Now, having been on quite a few cruises before this cruise, I've heard people say, oh, there's rumors of a storm that we're gonna run into, or hey, there's gonna be really bad weather on this day, and nothing like that happened. So this time around, I decided to ignore it just as I normally have on the past cruises I've been on, and sure enough, we ended up running into some pretty bad weather. So this day started off pretty much as normal for me. I got up, I got ready for the day, and this cruise had been somewhat rocky because as you cruise in the winter, it's just typically a more rocky season. So it had been somewhat rocky. And I was just thinking, maybe I was just, kind of stumbling around a little bit more than usual, and it was just me. So that's what consumption I had come out to. And so I decided to go up to the Lido deck and check out, what the weather was really looking like to see if it was just me or if it was the weather outside. And sure enough, I walked outside to this. Yeah, an absolute monsoon outside. You could barely see in front of the ship, to the side of the ship, and the only thing that you could see was the big old waves. But I didn't realize it was as bad as it was until I started hearing glasses hitting the floor, silverwares hit the floor, chairs sliding. This chair just slid over there. I mean, it just got crazy all of a sudden. And so me loving cruise ships, loving the ocean, and not feeling so bad at the moment, I decided to, just go watch the action, get some great footage and videos and photos of the bad weather that we're having. I found it pretty amusing for the first few moments of it. Now, soon after that, I decided to go down to this spot on the atrium lobby because I wanted to see how far up the waves were crashing towards the ship. And for those of you who don't know, the lobby area is on deck number 3, which is a generally lower deck of the ship. And so I looked out these windows and the waves were spraying water all up on the windows and everything. You could hear the waves hit the windows. It was absolutely crazy. But I realized when I was looking out that window, for the amount of time I was looking out that window, I had made a mistake. Why, you may be wondering? Well, some windows, tints, and bends and shapes are a little bit weird, and so sometimes you'll look at the bottom of the window and it'll kind of have a distorted type effect to where if you look at it too long, you might start to get a little bit dizzy, or maybe at the top or around the sides. And that was the case for this window. And because I was looking down, which is kind of where the window was distorted a little bit, it made me really, really dizzy. And so at that time, I rushed straight back to my room, and I'm sure you can assume what happened. Yeah, I got seasick. Well, listen, I know y'all are probably sitting there saying, well, Nick, how can I avoid getting in this situation on my next cruise? Or if I do get in it, how can I, feel comfortable in this situation and maybe not get seasick? And the advice that I can give for you is to listen to people around the ship. You'd rather be safe than sorry, or at least I think you would rather be safe than sorry. So if somebody says, hey, the forecast is looking kind of rough tomorrow, there's planned to be some rough weather that we might experience, then go ahead and take your seasickness medication the night before or directly after you hear somebody say that, so the seasickness medication can kind of get in your system and so you don't feel seasick or don't feel as much of an effect if you do get seasick on your next cruise. Another tip I can give for you is, well, bring seasickness medication, because that's a mistake that we made on this last cruise. That was the one thing we forgot, so make sure you bring it, because we were scrambling all around the ship looking for seasickness medication, and when we happened to be looking for seasickness medication, the onboard hospital on board the ship was closed, so we were scrambling all around the ship looking for seasickness medication. So make sure you bring that with you on your next cruise to potentially avoid getting seasick. And last but not least, maybe try and avoid cruising in the winter. Of course, it's not guaranteed or set in stone that you're gonna run into a big storm on your cruise, so make sure you just stay up to date with that forecast, because again, the waves are typically a little bit more choppy in the Caribbean, especially around this time. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. That is my worst cruise nightmare come true, and hopefully none of you have to experience what I went through on that cruise. But ladies and gentlemen, otherwise let us know down in the comments down below if you've experienced any bad storm like this on a cruise ship. And hey, while you're here, if you want to see the vlog from this day, make sure you check out this video right up here, flashing in this corner, or maybe it's over here. I think it's over here. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you go ahead, drop a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and of course, turn on that post notification bell so you can get notified each and every single time I post a brand new video out here on the Travel with Nick channel. But without further ado, I've been your host, Nick J, and until I see you around, I'll see you square. Bye for now, everybody. It's storming outside right now. That's why if you hear something, it's probably the wind or thunder. Yeah. Saying, you're probably like, hey. A ship on a stick or a carnival medal, such as, there's plenty. I don't even know.